So on junk removal and item delivery services package, this is one of those packages that we've talked about a couple of them. This is one of those packages that is just a universal need. You know, my record, and this is kind of sad, maybe I shouldn't admit to this on the air. My record in like 2 months, I took 2,000 pounds of garbage to, and I've got 4 kids and we like Amazon and, you know, I guess we throw a lot of stuff away sometimes. 2,000 pounds of garbage it came out of my garage in a period of like a month and a half. Whoa. But there's a ton of garbage in the world. A lot of it is at my house. No, I'm just kidding. But this is something that I use these junk removal services and item delivery services. I mean, you buy a big piece of furniture, you want to haul it in your truck, or do you want to have it delivered to your house and packed in your front door? And, you know, I mean, the convenience factors. And then a lot of times people don't own vehicles. So they go buy a big piece of furniture. They have no choice but to get it delivered. So you're coupling 2 services, junk removal and item delivery, that is just kind of a universal needs. And they supplement each other really well because the infrastructure, the vehicles or trailers or whatever it is you're using for this service, it's the same for both of them. So you're combining this, you're minimizing your downtime, you're maximizing your offerings. It's something that everybody can use. You're going to stay really busy with this package.
Oh, absolutely. And I think one of the great components to this is the subscription side, because maybe you're a general contractor and maybe you have a lot of byproducts from your work and you just need someone to be in a position to haul them away for you.
Yeah,
Or maybe you're
from a job site.
Yeah. Or maybe you're a local furniture store that doesn't have the resources to have its own trucking. And so
Which
maybe
I think most of them outsource it. Because, I mean, even if they do have the resources, it's just cheaper rather than, I mean, we've talked about this before, the infrastructure of the vehicle and all this other stuff, and then the tracking of it. It's just easier for companies just to hire somebody else to do it now. It's better.
Oh, yeah. And, I've actually personally been in a position where, I went downtown, I bought a large, wooden couch. It was a wood frame couch. It was too big for my truck. I have a full-size pickup. There's no way I was going to move it in that. And actually, interestingly, the furniture store had no support, no system in place to help me get that couch. And so I honestly had to go and find a third party. But imagine, if they could connect with this, how many people don't do that work? How many people don't connect with the third party and figure it out themselves? A lot of them don't. A lot of them just go somewhere else. And so this is a tool that business owner can use to partner up, to subscribe, and get that business. And in turn, the business owner, the person running this, is getting consistent income. There's no volatility there. They're getting paid regularly.
Yeah, absolutely. And the really nice thing about this business model in particular is there's a lot of businesses that are out there to where in one way or another, you pay for every customer you get. This, you network yourself with enough furniture stores, enough bed stores, enough general contractors, enough companies that need stuff removed and thrown away every once in a while. You're done advertising unless you want to hire somebody and keep growing and keep scaling. You're done. You don't have to advertise anymore because just by virtue of how many contacts you've made, you have your business set. And you can take payments on the website. If somebody wants to subscribe to your service and you go, hey, we'll pay you X amount a month to do a certain amount of deliveries, we can help set that up for you. We've got all the infrastructure covered. We've got the website covered. We've got the technology covered. We've got the training for teaching you how to set the business up in the first place and then how to fill everything in and grow it and scale it and gain customers and hire people and all this stuff. We've got all these bases covered for you. So really, all you need to do is have the desire to do it and follow the plan, inject your own ideas along the way. And that's the nice thing about this. None of this being any kind of a franchise system is whatever you think of, you can do with your business. And so take all that and compile it in and just your odds of success are huge.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I know in this category, there's a lot of service providers out there that don't have any kind of simple tools to use. They don't have a website. They don't have a way to accept electronic payments. And so this really, I think, is a really holistic solution to a really in-need industry. And, the other huge advantage this has does to any business owner that wants to contract with it is there's major liability in employing your own person to go out, do these services, move something, pull junk out. There's liability for you as the business owner. There's overhead expense every time that person isn't doing that work, and certainly there's going to be those periods of time. So this is a major win-win. You have someone who can operate this business, and because this is all they do, they can have a full book of business. They can capitalize on profits, and business owners aren't bleeding overhead in departments that they infrequently use.
Now, you've worked under our business methodology. Tell me how our way of doing things has impacted your life.
Well, it's improved my life in many different ways. I've learned to, operate in business more efficiently, more strategically, with a greater focus on win-win outcomes, where the business is profiting, but the, clients and customers are happy. So it's been a very enriching process, and I've learned a lot from you guys. You guys have that entrepreneurial spirit that just makes for good business, and so it's been just an absolute pleasure working with you guys.
And now, what about financially? How would you say your situation is different?
Well, it's been enormously personally rewarding, financially rewarding. We've been able to do things we never imagined being able to do just a few years before. Your unique approach to business has enabled us to, be more profitable than our competitors. We've had a better work-life balance, I think, than most people who, even get close to approaching our income threshold. So I think really, as rewarding as something could be, it has been for us.
Now, do you feel like our way of doing things has profitability advantages over traditional ways of doing business?
Oh, most certainly. Yeah. I think you can, tell just by our history of growth. I think, are willing to adapt our business strategies, fill any niche role that's out there, and just, capitalize on things that other businesses aren't even aware of. So, yeah, I think we, have had a much greater level of success than our competitors with more profitability and oftentimes less busy work.
Yeah, certainly. And I think too, with the startup series goes over all sorts of that kind of stuff. And just the ways that we've been luckily forced to adapt and learn how to do things with less staff and, more technology based or more efficiency based, just really picking things apart down to the typing of emails or not. Stuff like that makes a huge difference, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah. Breaking things down to their kind of constituent components, seeing what you absolutely have to have, what's not necessary, and then putting your energy behind what drives, maximum productivity and profitability. And I think that's been where we've had a lot of our success.
Now, Justin, what would you say to someone who is thinking about buying one of these business packages, but is maybe nervous about starting a business from scratch instead of going with a more expensive traditional franchise, or maybe nervous about something else with starting a business?
Well, I would say that, now is a very good time, I think, for someone to look at starting their own business. And I think, when you're weighing these options, say in comparison to a more expensive franchise, I think the flexibility that's afforded because you still own and have control of your own business, I think
Absolutely.
that's huge. I think that's why a lot of people start a business. They don't want to have to report to someone and curtail their goal and operations based on the direction of somebody else. So I think you get all of those benefits. But I think the other thing that's, a major advantage is that it is lower cost. You're not paying a percentage of your income for an indefinite period. You just have the ability to take a proven model, to adapt it to your specific situation, to be given all the tools to implement your strategy and your goals and to achieve it. And I think that's huge.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. As an entrepreneur myself, obviously, that started several businesses, when I look back over what worked really well and what did not work really well, it's the unknowns that are waiting out there to just, grab you by the foot and trip you up. And that's really what I think makes businesses fail. I think there's probably two major things that make businesses fail. Number one is not knowing a system and process that's proven for success, which it takes a while to get there. And then number two is just these pitfalls that every single entrepreneur will face at some point in time or another. And having the startup series as a guide to continually reference back to me, makes all the difference in the world compared to somebody that does not have that resource. And business consultants are really, really, really expensive. It's a good way to, especially when you're in the startup phases, That's a good way to really drain profitability, is having to call somebody and pay them by the hour every time you have a question, rather than just referencing a resource that you've got on your computer.
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you're getting basically a veteran business model that works.
Yeah.
And you're able to use that from the get-go. So, I mean, it's like, taking the Microsoft model when you're starting a software company. It's as good a start as you could have.
Well, Justin, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you joining me here and going over these business packages. And, for you guys there thinking about this, you can submit on our website. Or you can give us a call at 844-500-6620 and speak with a business launching consultant. Again, that's 844-500-6620. Thanks so much.